This is the Jose Candelario Show. You already know who I am, but you don't know this young lady, Ife Gardin. How you doing, Ife?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I mean, you tell me, how do you stay so young? I mean, you're everywhere. I'm on Facebook, and you're up on more events than I can count.
No, I just like supporting people's efforts and because I grew up here and know folks when somebody's having something, I try to get there. I don't get to everything, but I try to get to as much as I can.
What your love for the arts? Where does that come from?
You know, I think growing up in New Haven, going to Bowen Peters and Bowen Peters School of Dance, and Angela Bowen Peters did more than teach us dance. She taught us about the origin of dance and the different cultures and on the continent of Africa and Cuba and South America and the islands. That and my love of reading. I've always liked reading about different places and spaces. And when I discovered outside of school, because they didn't really, even though we had some black teachers in schools that did put some stuff in, um, I always liked black literature. And so it just happened. I don't know. It just evolved to that. I went to Morgan State University, HBCU,
Okay.
and really loved the Baltimore and DC culture. And
That's a whole different vibe.
it is. Even though when I went there in the 60s, it was really like the corner. I mean, the 70s, it was like, it was, Baltimore was, it's expanded like everywhere else. And the school is wonderful. The school has expanded a lot. But
Oh, they got whole new buildings.
oh
I mean,
my God.
and it's twice the size. I went back there and toured in '95. I just took my daughter there last April, and all the new facilities and buildings
It's
and the
fabulous.
library looks wonderful.
It's fabulous.
And what they do for young black men in this country and the country, because they do give opportunities. I mean, you can be failing. And Morgan State, if you dedicate it and you want that second chance, they will get you through. They will drag you through.
What? They trying to enhance academics across the board. So like all of like just my life experience when I after Morgan I moved to New York.
Let's talk a little bit about leaving New Haven.
Leaving New Haven?
Leaving New Haven, why is it important to go out there and experience, especially black people, or black and brown, to experience black and brown people somewhere else? Because when I go to the DMV, the support systems there are different. I'm talking about when they have get-togethers, they take over TGIFs, you name it. It'd be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
So I think there's I want to say like I think with the migration to the north, what happened was people thought they arrived way back when the migration was happening. I think people thought they arrived.
They made it.
They made it and didn't realize that this is still systemic segregation, redlining, et cetera, up here and in the north as well. And so with that mindset and segregation, it became easier for us to be dissipated, to be like, oh, I got this, instead of like in the South, where even though segregation was over, people still stayed segregated more in more ways, you know. So I think that overall cultural transition has something to do with that.
We talk about hyper-competitiveness, crabs in a barrel theory, that, or if
I don't
people,
even think it's so much crabs in a barrel, like pulling people down to get out. I think it's like not reaching back to pull people along with you.
kids call it gatekeeping. You know, not sharing information, not sharing the resources, not sharing.
A lot of that, because there's so many examples in New Haven and throughout, I think throughout New England, and but I just know New Haven from New Haven history and other towns in Connecticut. There were programs, a lot of programs that were funded in the 60s that came out of the civil rights movement, that people were complacent in, or somebody started something. I mean, I think one example is the Q House. No disrespect to anyone that was on their board or anything, but I know I went there years ago to meet with the last director when the Q House was still that old building that had been built by Ed Cherry in the 70s or something. Or the 60s, whatever that weird, that that structure that it was. I went to meet with the director, and he had nothing on his desk, and I was like, wow, what is he really doing? And it was shortly after that was the fall of the Q House, and I believe the board believed so much in this person that they didn't, or they weren't equipped as a board to like transition him out or do what they needed to do. And I just...
And they weren't ready for those bush cuts.
And the bush cuts.
And the United Way, United Way restructured their funding.
So many things. The way that Black organizations were set up in the 60s was like, they was just giving us money, giving us money, giving us money. And then it was like this, and then instead of, and not instead of, I think people just didn't know to build some kind of fund or have an endowment stashed away somewhere to remain in place for that time. I think we have come to a place in our current, in this current day and age where more people, when they think of starting something, think of longevity, think of legacy, but that wasn't the case back then. And that's one of those, and it may have happened in places in the South, but when you, like you said, you go to DMV, you go to Charlotte, or especially Atlanta, like, who taking over? Like, and there's no, there might be some dissipation and some competitiveness, and overall, it's so Black run. Like, hey,
it's totally different in ATL and stuff. But even they're changing.
Things evolve. Because we can't be having a good time. I was telling somebody that I went to Martha's Vineyard in July, and end of June, beginning of July, and which was one of those places where, like, you wanted us to be segregated. Right, y'all had Nantucket over there. You like, y'all go over to Martha's Vineyard, Oak Bluffs, do your thing,
Inkwell,
which is the smallest stretch of beach and the rockiest. If you go over to Vineyard Haven or Edgartown and go to the beach, it's a little more. I'm just saying. But we made it. Whatever you give us, we're gonna make it ours. We're gonna groove, we're gonna do our thing. We had the polar bears that started there, and then the same thing in Sag Harbor. Sag Harbor was one of those communities where, okay, we want you y'all out here working in the Hamptons, but we're gonna give you this part, this beach right here, over here. And we be having too much fun with what we got. You can't be, y'all having too much fun over there. Let me
let's squash that.
You can't do that. It's almost like in not almost like, it's like, I think a good example of it was in that movie Sinners, right? Where the brothers come back to town and they're gonna buy this old building. Nobody was this old slaughterhouse. Nobody was thinking about or nothing. You're gonna charge them a whole bunch of money for it, and then come back and burn it down just because you don't want them to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just because why we just need some place for us. All the black Wall Streets, all the black meccas that we had across the country, right?
Including Dixwell Avenue.
Including Dixwell Avenue.
Newhall Street.
The ways that we had our own, because we were not offered anything from y'all, or you wanted to treat us a certain way, so we go, okay, we're gonna stay over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Rosewood, Tulsa, here. All right, we got our own places. We got our own doctor. We don't have to leave. Retail shops, all that. The record shop. Remember, what's the record shop called?
No, that's before my time.
It was a record store.
That's before my time.
Daryl would know.
But I know what you're talking about.
And it'll come to me.
I know what you're talking about, though.
But there was for Yale and the white people was Merle's on Broadway,
Mm-hmm.
and we had the record shop on Dixwell Avenue.
I mean, but Dixwell Avenue, what people don't remember though, also was a mecca for jazz. We had a Monterey, we had a Cotton Club.
We had the Monterey and even the Cardinals once upon a time. And oh gosh, there was one at the beginning of Dixwell Avenue. It's a juice shop now. There was a club there too, and
Mm-hmm.
that was when the Freddie Fixer Parade went all the way downtown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now just to go from Bassett to the end of Dixwell Avenue is over $100,000 to do.
Well, they
and then Yale was like, well, you can't come through here. Don't be coming through here. In the meantime, St. Patrick's Day Parade goes down Chapel Street. Walk right up through y'all.
But the funding is different. There are companies that, when you break down who's funding what, right? Our communities, we don't have business owners anymore. Even the Brown community, we used to have the Rodriguezes owning all the McDonald's, and they funded the Puerto Rican Day Parade. Now it's gone because we can't afford the police. It is tab. And my understanding for the Freddie was
the zoning, you got to pay the city to block the streets.
And my understanding was even for the Freddie that Hampden would charge the Freddie Fixer, New Haven would charge the Freddie Fixer. It says Hampden had police working the Freddie Fixer. They would use North Haven police to help Hampden, and then they would get another check or tab from North Haven police.
Yeah, it's complicated. That's what people don't realize. When you're organizing something like that, and when you want, everybody's like, oh, we got to bring back you need to be on the committee and find out the logistics of doing that, the logistics of putting together. Like, I commend Reese for taking it over, and Diane for turning over the baton to Reese. Because man, it's more than a notion, and you need a committee.
And we don't have the black business owners at that level to help sponsor us.
If there are, they are being pinched so tightly. Because even with my nonprofit, New Haven is inundated now with nonprofits.
Two churches and nonprofits. And then they both one and the same.
Yeah. And
this is the nonprofit capital of the world. I don't know one person who doesn't have a nonprofit.
I mean,
but
I tried.
But you're legit. Are you legit 501(c)(3)? Did you?
Yes.
With a board.
All that.
So you do put all in the work.
Yeah, because I know people that say, "Oh, I got a 501(c)(3) because you put in the paperwork, but there's paperwork behind the paperwork. There's state paperwork and federal paperwork and this and that and the other." That I was like, oh my God, do I really want to do this? But I got the ball rolling, and for for the first 5 years, first 4 years of Lit Fest, we were fiscally sponsored. So I decided to become a nonprofit. In 2024, we became a full nonprofit, fully functioning, could get all the things, and yeah, and it wasn't easy. And then the new administration came and cut all arts funding.
We saw that.
So there's that. And I mean, on top of business people don't think you can give to a nonprofit anytime. You can give to $5, $10 to the Freddie Fix It Parade, or give them an extra $20 when you hit a number.
Ain't no numbers.
Or when you go, or when you go up to the casino, like I be trying to tell people, y'all go to the casino, spend a lot of money, and you can be like bragging that you didn't won whatever, give $100 to one of these local to Culturally Lit, or the Freddie Fix It Parade, or there's a sister in Newhallville, Kim Harris got her thing. Like there's a whole lot of groups that are doing good things with young people and old people and for our people. And they don't think, oh, let me just do that. Because this begging thing, that's one thing I was like,
and
man.
grants are drying up. Grants are drying up.
They are.
There's I guess it's a lack of fiscal responsibility in our community because we don't have enough endowments. We weren't trained that way. We weren't taught to think of the future. Because right now, I mean, when we do need money for an organization or a cause, I mean, it is slim pickings and there's nothing out there.
And also, I'm on the board for the Greater New Haven African American Historical Society, and they're based in the Ethnic Heritage Center over here on Fifth Street at Southern, and they're in a temporary structure. It looks like a tin can, one of those metal
barns. It's a barn.
It's a barn. But
metal barn.
There are four. There's, I think, Italian, the African American Historical Society, Italian. The Italian might took this out. Some Polish, somebody. But anyway, everybody has like valuable historical artifacts in there, and it's pretty much a tin can. It's damp. It's in a low-lying place right by the river, and stuff gets damp. So we're trying to figure out a way to get a grant to digitally archive things. Because history and stories of families from where you are is real significant for people moving forward. I believe in Sankofa. And probably because I got so much from my grandmother.
That's what I was about to say. You are a person who is really in touch with their history and know it so well. And that's so empowering. Do you feel like that's what lacks, especially with the youth these days, is they don't know where they're from, so how are they going to figure out where they're going?
I think that's one of I think that's one of the issues. Like, and there's something about knowing about your heritage and connecting that helps, that I think empowers you to move forward. And this, the digitalized world, like just the social media world, like everybody wants to be an influencer now. Like it's about how many viewers you get, how many likes you get. Like, so I have to do nothing but buy a new pair of sneakers or buy a new outfit. And I got new drip, and I'm on social media.
We can talk
and they
about
post
drip.
and post, because I be trying to stay up on stuff. I do. I'm a little old, but I be trying to stay up on stuff. But I just noticed that, and I fall down that rabbit hole sometime of TikTok, and be like, oh my gosh, because they know what you like, and once you in that matrix, They got you.
They
You know.
suck you right in.
Exactly.
Supposed to be sleeping, and it's 4:30 in the morning, and you death scrolling like nobody's business.
What? So I had to take it off one of my phones. I have a work phone and a thing. I had to just no, I can't do this. It's too distracting.
So you're trying to preserve history, but the challenges are there fiscally, though. And so when you're trying to do something for the next generation that they don't know that they need, and they're also not compelled to help, do you see young people coming up and saying,
Oh, yeah.
"Hey, let me go volunteer"? And what happened to volunteering?
Okay, there are some young people out here that are into volunteering and also helping preserve legacy and that are respectful. I have a good team personally myself of young women that I can't pay them yet, and they work regular jobs. Thank you, Jesus. I'm grateful for their time, but that are committed. And one of the things I notice now within the creative community, there's a lot of collaboration happening.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sister that named Angel DeFay that does a thing called Sweets and Sounds. I think it was called Sweets and Sounds. She was doing that, and now she's a coordinator for the proprietors of the Green. So the Green is activated, and her partner has a space. Oh my God, there's so many creatives that are making clothing, making their own clothing line, teaching. There's a young man, T. Montgomery, who's a fashion designer, but he also teaches sewing. Donald Carter's been doing that for years, and he partnered with Donald Carter for in a few other designers intergenerational fashion show at the train station.
I saw that on social media.
Yeah, that was I missed it because I was away that weekend. I'm so sorry I missed it because they did that and then they took the train. People had tickets for the fashion show, took the train to Milford, to the Milford Arts Council, and they had a little gathering there as well because Milford Arts Council got a brother named Raheem Nelson, young man. These are all people that are 40, less than 40. So there's folks out here.
Hold on, because we already went 30 minutes strong.
Oh, okay. Oops. See, I'm running my mouth.
No, this is what the podcast is about.
Oh, okay.
You've seen. I just wanted people to get an understanding. You've seen us at our height where there's dentists, doctors up and down Shelton and Dixwell Avenue. You've seen that community dissolve. Now you've seen a renaissance of sorts of young entrepreneurs. What challenges do you think we had before that don't exist now, or what are some challenges that you think will still continue no matter who you are throughout time as being a minority business owner?
I think things are cyclical. So there was probably the time in the 70s, 80s, where that's when things started evolving to where they are, where there was a void of Black engagement. Mm-hmm. And now that's sort of 40 whatever years later coming back into play. And what I like is that people are going, the young entrepreneurs, they're doing their thing here and they're going out into the world to do things and coming back. And it's good to look at globally what's happening because you can put yourself in a silo of, New Haven is a wonderful community and it could be a pond. And we just swimming around in it, and then there's like mold on top or something, you know?
The overgrown lily pads.
Right. Exactly. And
the pond can
you
turn
gotta
into a swamp
learn.
easy. Yeah, so you got to be able to.
Yeah.
There's like an ecosystem that's very fragile.
It's very fragile. Oh my gosh. And
With
so
fragile little fish.
you know, and you could tell that, you know, there's people that have been here, ain't never been nowhere but here. They love it. And yes, that is wonderful. And they're the ones that you got to show them. You can't tell them, you got to show them. And they come along. They jump on board. But in the meantime, or they think that whatever they're doing is the only thing that's happening.
They're on the
and then stuff start happening around them, and they're like, oh gosh, I guess I gotta,
But as a person, I mean, you are culturally influenced a little bit different than the average person, being that you spent some time in the DMV, time in New York City. You've seen African American culture in different aspects of it, and how other people preserve their history or view their history. Because New Haven is very insular, and a lot of people haven't left and don't know how precious the history here is, and their job to preserve it and to carry it forward.
Yeah, people want to be the keeper of the keys. It's like, why? Like, oh, I want you to know my business. Everybody got business. Whatever business that is, or they don't want anybody in there. Like, no, there are times when people are envious and try to maneuver or counteract whatever you're trying to do. And I found that once you are committed and sincere, like when I started Lit Fest, first I heard black people don't read. Okay. Second, I heard, why you want to do a black book festival? And then third was, you know, without the support of certain people, you will not succeed. Okay. And I just said, okay, I'm going to try it anyway. If I mess up, then, you know, I can, like, I'm resilient. I'll move on.
I see, but you were up to the challenge.
Yeah.
You were up to the challenge.
Yeah.
And you really are going up against a lot of stereotypes, you know, because I hear it all the time. Oh, man, you're very articulate. I know you love that one.
Okay.
But that's only because you are well-read. You have a knowledge base that you went out and gained for yourself on your time. You're well-read. And there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like people are shamed of being a nerd, well-read. Hip-hop culture has done a good job.
Well, there's a lot of people coming out with books now because everybody got a story. And one of the things, because I do get people that come to us with books and they want to do something with their book. And I'm like, we don't publish. But, you know, give everybody, like, we're going to have a bunch of authors at Lit Fest. We invite authors to come sell their books. There was, about 2 years ago, this lady was like, she sold her book on Amazon. And she was a bestseller on Amazon. And she's at the table, she got her books, she's signing them. But when you publish your books on Amazon, they publish them for you, but you have to buy them from them if you're going to sell them individually, right? So somebody came up to her and she's talking about bragging about being a bestseller, had to sign up bestseller on Amazon, blah, blah. The lady just went into her phone and bought the book on Amazon because she didn't want to give the author $20. She wanted to buy it on Amazon for $13.99. But you get a signed book. And you're supporting an author. Like, I don't know I'm not sure people get a profit off Amazon, but I just think
it's a percentage.
It's a percentage. It's a ripoff. And there are more, I've also found that there are more and more authors. I did not realize how many people in Connecticut are writing books, and there's a little collective of readers, of book influencers through social media, TikTok, that will be meeting at Lit Fest.
A glorified book club. They used to
Glorified
meet
book-
on Sundays.
And like,
Now they meet on
and
TikTok.
that's how I started Lit Fest. I started literally a book club with a book club. Went out at my management team meeting, and I said I'm going to start a book club, and we used the Beaver Hills police community station, the police station, and met there, and it grew, and so here we are.
Here we are. You're still carrying the mantle. I just want to thank you for your time.
I appreciate being here.
It's fast, right?
It is fast.
Fast when you're having a good time.
Right.
What the website again is Culturally LIT
.org.
with a K.
With the K.
It's been on the screen the whole time, so there's no excuse to not go there, find out their festivities, their organization, how to get involved, and how to donate.
And our schedule will be listed next week. The schedule for Lit Fest of activities and speakers and performers. And this is the thing, if people donate, when people donate to Culturally Lit, we pay performers.
You got to.
We pay everybody that presents, does a workshop, performs, and we get local and regional people. We keep it in the community.
There you go.
Right.
The money
And I'm a retired person. I live in a senior community. Everybody see me walking and taking the bus all over New Haven, so it ain't going in my pocket.
It ain't for personal gain. So I would like to thank you for your contribution to our community. I wish you continued success. Can't wait to see what else happens as this thing keeps growing, because sometimes it's like, it's your baby, and next thing you know, it's a teenager, and you're like,
oh my God.
Good Lord, it's eating me out of house and home. So with that said, Ife Gardin, I'm Jose Candelario. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. You already know what to do. Click like, subscribe, and please leave a comment at the bottom.
Okay.